Hey!
Hi.
Is anyone there? Hey, Kai. Hey. Awesome. Look at that. Kai, Jacqueline, is it? Celine, Ethan. All right. So, welcome to, what is this, like episode 3 of Shayshares. And we're at Inducal Park right now. And I'm with my friend Rosie. And Rosie and I haven't seen each other for years. But we started talking about what's been going on in our lives. And one of the things that we had in common is the fact that we both lost 50 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I lost 50 pounds last year from January to November. So I think by right now it's 45 or something like that. And then Rosie had mentioned the fact that you went through massive transformation last year.
Right. I lost about 47 pounds right now, from December to now.
From December to now.
Right, last December.
Yeah, that's amazing. Can you guys hear us, by the way? Can you give me a thumbs up? Because we're at a park right now, and I want to make sure the fact that you... Hey, Alexandra. I want to make sure the fact that you guys can hear us. Thumbs up if you can hear us. Oh, man, hey Maddie. Okay, Alexandra, thank you very much. So make sure that we just speak up loud enough. So, all right. So a lot of you guys have been wondering in terms of my own transformation. And so I wanted to kind of start off with someone else and ask Rosie, what are some things that you did that caused, their motivation, things that you kind of kept consistent? What are some things that you want to, you want to inspire, right? So we transformed ourselves, we want to inspire others, and we want to change their world. So what types of things come to mind?
Well, the only thing that really got me out of my comfort was I went abroad.
Okay.
And I went to completely vegetarian countries.
Oh. So what countries did you go to?
I went to India.
To India.
So it was either you can't have it or it's really hard to get.
Yeah.
You know? So it was really just completely different from here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want it here, you go get it.
Right.
That was it. And when I came back, I just stuck to that because I lost 20 pounds just being abroad. You know?
How long were you there for?
I was there for a month and a half.
Okay. Wait, in a month and a half, you lost 20 pounds?
Yeah. And it was just from activities.
Yeah.
You have to walk to places.
Yeah.
So it's just more a physical activity. The vegetarian diet.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. So when I came back, I was like, well,
so you the springboard from that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was they gave you a foundation.
Yeah. So I went cold turkey basically.
Wow, that's amazing.
And just got more exercise.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting how just making some basic changes in your life can make such a shift. So for me, I didn't go to India. I didn't go to a different country or anything like that. But I did notice the fact that last summer I went on a 5-day fast, and then I did a 5-day major intermittent fasting. So I think only one meal a day. So that kind of what it did was it reset my body so that my sugar intake and my salt intake, that switched, and that kind of gave me...
Right.
They get to get the ball rolling somehow, right? Yeah.
I mean, when I came back, I did have to fast. Because
oh, you did?
Why
is that?
Coming back, I got sick from eating the food here. I didn't necessarily get sick how you expect. No.
Well, you didn't get sick in India, you guys, when you came back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All the food. So then I was okay, well, I have to stop. So then I fasted, just keeping juices and water in my system.
Right.
And then I slowly got into, because even doing vegetarian here, it's still different. I haven't had the same results I had over there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, it could be a lot of things. Just how we grow things.
Okay.
I mean, I saw a cucumber over there is this big, and I see one.
Ours are massive, right?
Yeah. So I think the food in general, but fasting was a key.
Yeah.
But now when I feel like I'm going back to old ways, I have to fast again. Because it's just breaking the habit again,
Well, it's interesting. Yeah, it's funny because actually I just had a friend this morning or last night ask me the same question. It's hey, do you want to go through a fast again? And I said, yes. This summer, I want to try to do a 5-day fast again. And the reason why is because I had lost 50 pounds, but then during Christmas, with all the sweets and things like that, you start getting you start getting those cravings again, and then after that, you kind of your body gets
relapse.
Yeah, you relapse, right? So I think during Christmas, I think I gained 10 pounds, right? And so then I was okay, and I tried to get myself off of it. And I think I'm doing way better now. But I think every once in a while doing a fast really makes a difference. Yeah, definitely. So then after that, were there anything else that you did in terms of eating differently after the fast?
It's just that. It's just trying to cut out everything that's so processed.
Yeah.
I mean, as it is, I already think things are processed.
Right.
But there's some more gardening that we do at home now.
Yeah.
For green vegetables or anything like that. and soda. That's the big
Soda?
thing. I try to just.
So you guys got that? Especially those of you who are like teenagers, soda is like really, really not good, right?
I mean, I would tell myself before,
Yeah.
you know, before all of this, before my trip and everything, I'd be like, okay, 1 soda a day.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
it's not bad.
But then once you cut it out and it's like 5 pounds, I was like, oh man, like.
Yeah, that's totally true.
As tempting as it is, like,
Yeah.
it's totally not worth the.
If you look at like the back of a bottle and just look at all of the sugar content, it is nuts in terms of like the amount of like spoonsful of sugar that we actually take in.
Yeah.
It's really, 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 it's really hard on our body.
I even switched to honey now. Like,
Yeah?
I've tried cutting out as much sugar and just doing like more natural.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a natural antioxidant,
Yeah.
and you know, like it's still sweet, so.
That's amazing.
I just.
See,
Little things.
I still do sugar every once in a while, but I'm really strategic about when I do it. Like if I do it, I'll try to do it like in the morning, like on a Saturday, so it gives me my body enough time to like, you know, burn things off and things like that. And also, and remember, everything that we're sharing is not to be prescriptive. It's really about being descriptive, describing like what's going on to us,
I
right?
really had to identify my own things to see what worked for me, because it doesn't necessarily work for somebody else.
Yes, exactly. And so, like, there's something that I found on Facebook, and I ordered called Sweet Defeat. And Sweet Defeat is just something it's like it's almost like tastes like a lozenge or like a mint. And basically, what it does is it makes it so that you don't crave like sugar, right? And not just like sugars and candy and things like that, but even like processed whites and things like that. And so, so definitely fasting was one. So it sounds like you from eating a lot of veggies. And then I did the same thing when I was before my fast. I really tried to cut down a lot of meat, and also just in terms of processed foods. Like, okay, so before, like I would like go to like the Ralph's Deli all the time, and I would get like buffalo wings, and I would get like mac and cheese at times, and I would get like let's see what else, like, you know, like JoJo's and like
fries.
Yeah, just like really like things that were just like a lot of fried food were things on my plate. And so I really tried to like think through all of that, and that seemed to help also. So potato salad.
Yeah, no, I noticed that there's a lot of frying, but somehow it's like different.
Frying.
Yeah, like the food, the vegetables, like there's a lot of frying going on.
Yes,
but it's different,
Yeah.
you know, and somehow it's like just healthy.
So okay, so then what have you replaced? So we talked about like not drinking soda and things like that, right? So what other things did you do to replace that?
Juice.
Huh?
Juice. Just
Juicing?
any type of juice. Yeah.
Like
juicing.
like vegetable
Natural
juicing? Yeah.
Yeah. So natural juicing, juicer, infused water. Yeah. Because I mean,
You get a little bit of flavor.
Yeah.
So like, what do you infuse for like for flavor? Like,
anything, like pineapple, mint, lemon, oranges, like, and anything really like fruit and vegetable wise, like.
So here's one of my secrets. All right. So I go to Costco, and I get those like multi-berry, like frozen, and then I throw it into like boiling hot water. And because the fact that it's already like cold, it just like makes it more like room temp. But then the leftover is all like a little bit like fruit water, right? Okay. And so that's kind of like the thing that I love to do. So that totally works for me. But yeah, I heard the fact that you're supposed to eat your fruits and drink your veggies, because a lot of times when we drink like juice, it's just straight up sugar or something like that, right?
Nectar, whatever.
Yeah. So like even like for my lunches, I always have like one of those. Gosh, what is it called? But it's like a cucumber kale type of drink, and that's like my standard drink for like every single lunch, and that seems to really help me. And so
I've been started. I would freeze my fruits, and I'll eat them just like that.
Oh,
like the sensation, you know, like you're just biting into something frozen.
Yes.
Like a popsicle.
Yes.
Something. So it kind of like tricks the mind,
yes.
I guess, into saying like, okay, you're having something sweet. It's kind of like a popsicle, you know, just because we're so used to like all these sweets.
Yes. Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I noticed that for myself. Like I sometimes need something crunchy. So like what I love is like seaweed, right? So like seaweed has like a little bit of crunch to it, and it makes you feel like you're actually eating something.
Right.
Yeah. So do you have any like favorite things that you cook on a regular basis?
Yeah. Potatoes.
Potatoes?
Yeah.
How do you cook your potatoes?
I just like anything. Like I'll boil them.
Yeah.
And then like when I mash them, I'll just either like that or in like tacos or. Yeah. It's just like so many different things, you know.
Well, I'm going to mention, to be honest,
yeah.
something you said to me, because the fact that you said the fact that you tried to do like 80-20 in terms of, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you said like 80% veggies and
Right.
20% meat.
Right.
And tell them what you said to me, because I felt so funny.
He asked me what my major change was, and I was like, well, I'm like 80% vegetarian because I'm still Hispanic, so I can't help it.
That's so funny.
So even if I try, I'm still like odd man out. And carne asadas are not gonna be like, oh well, let's put on some lettuce, or like it doesn't happen.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the things about food, right? Like food is so cultural. Food is so like bonding with people, and I think once you make modification to your diet, it really does affect a little bit of like your relationships, right? So it's like for me, like I really like for Chinese New Year, or for like getting together with the family. My grandfather owns a Chinese restaurant, so I just tell myself on those days, like I am gonna like this is my cheat day, this is my like bonding day. But I think for me, it's really like the regular meals, like your everyday staples. Those are the times where I'm like I want to make sure that I'm pretty consistent with those overall.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when I have my cheat day,
Yeah.
like I do notice that I plateau. It's just digesting. Just digesting is harder.
Yeah. But maybe your body just got accumulated, accustomed to it, right?
Yeah. So it's okay because then I could just fast.
Yes.
And then it just restarts me over.
Yeah. No. Totally.
But it is a cheat day.
Yes. So like so I hang out with my kids, right? And I go to Costco and go want pizza, right? So I will even like make. Like my cheat days are even like special. So for example, what I'll do is I'll take a slice of like Costco pizza, and I'll put like black beans, and I'll put like avocado, and I'll put black beans on, and I'll put another pizza on top. So it becomes like this pizza guacamole black bean burger. Yes, but because like it's so much like I feel like I'm actually biting into something, and it's just like more filling than like me eating like 4 or 5 pieces of pizza, right? So I think that's part of it. Like you want to be able to like still enjoy yourself, but like figure out special ways of doing it. Kind of like you were saying about like eating the frozen fruit. I feel like you're eating like a popsicle or something like that.
Instead of like going and getting hot Cheetos or something.
Yes.
It's like the same sensation. It's the same sounds that are like coming through.
Yeah.
So
I probably cheat way more than you do. I really actually do. But what I do is my intermittent fasting. I really try to be strategic about that. Like if I can have like bigger windows of where I just don't eat very much, but then when I do eat, I like try to cram that into a shorter amount of time.
Right.
So like today at school, there was a student of the month luncheon, and they had a slice of pizza. It was a pepperoni pizza, but I went back and I got another piece. And I remember one of my teacher friends was like, "You're getting another piece?" I'm like, "Yes," but it looks like I'm eating more. But I'm just really strategic when I eat. Like before, like I would like eat late at night, right? And when I would eat late at night, it would just like throw me off. Like the digestion was all messed up. I wouldn't maybe sleep well, and in the morning I feel like crap, right? So I think timing. It's not only what you eat, but it's like when you eat it too.
Right, depending on your physical activity.
Yes.
Because there's people that stay up all night, and you're gonna need that energy.
No, that's true. Yeah. That's true. So it's like when you fall asleep, right?
Yeah, when you eat and then just don't really run that off, or not run that off, but don't use it.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things I've learned is this, and this is like the biggest thing. I think you and I talked about this over the phone. So again, this is descriptive, not prescriptive, because we're not doctors or like, nutritionists. But this is what I found to be true. I remember hearing so many times that people say, like, eat small meals throughout the day, because you keep your metabolism up and then you like burn calories. For me, that's been a load of crap. Yeah. Has that been true for you too?
Well, even whoever I talk to, they'd be like, well, you have to eat every 2 hours. And I'm like, that's impossible. Like, I could probably drink throughout the day, but I don't think I can eat every 2 hours. Like, even snacks, like, no.
So here's the interesting thing. So in a lot of the videos I watch, they mention the fact that you want to get the body to use up your reserves. So think in terms of like your pantry at home, right? Or your refrigerator at home. So if you're constantly like buying food, right, this is a metaphor, buying food and putting it in your shelves, you'll never get to like the food that's like been there for a while. So think about your body and think about the fat that's on your body. That's stored energy, right? And the thing is, like, if you don't actually access that energy and you just keep on adding more, then you never get to the back pantry and empty out that area. So that's what I've noticed. Like when I've actually fasted, or if I could do like major, like long periods of intermittent fasting, I actually like my waist like yesterday was at 30 inches. And that's like the thinnest I ever got. But part of that is just going ahead and the moments of fasting. It's like it accesses that energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone said swimming burns a lot of calories. That's part of like one of the more daily things. I would say like every other day I do go to the gym.
Okay.
And I swim
That's awesome.
And if it's not like in the swimming, I'll
Yeah.
be in the jacuzzi.
Yeah.
But still, you know, trying to get some type of, because it's like moving your body against the pressure of water.
Yeah, totally.
And somehow I just like has gotten, I don't know, like your
Yeah.
your circulatory system. Like I know I have fibromyalgia, so like that's really helped.
Yeah.
Just like not crashing, because
Yeah.
that was like huge. Or like I had to get my energy level up, and then swimming does help a lot because I don't
Just moving your body.
yeah because you're still in movement, you're still burning that.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like for me, I haven't been working out as much. I mean, I do yoga once a week and I try to like walk another night. But I was waking up like at 4:00 in the morning. I was going to Planet Fitness and I was just doing a 30-minute. I would be like going through like hydro bed, 30 minutes, and then I would either do like the body enhancement. Mm-hmm. And then once a week I was doing a strength training. And I think during those times it really did start shaping my body a little bit more.
Right.
And so I remember like, okay, so those of you who know me, right, like I love Spider-Man, right? So there's in one of the first Spider-Mans was the one with Tobey Maguire. He like gets bitten by the spider, and then like the next day he wakes up and it's like, you know, his glasses, you know, he doesn't need his glasses. When he looks at his mirror and he's body,
like super ripped.
Yeah, he's like so ripped, right? Like so ripped. And like one morning I woke up and I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my gosh, like I had this V cut. And I'm like, I've never had a V cut. Like I don't remember that. I mean, okay, I'm gonna say something that's vulnerable, okay, on camera for all of you. I remember when I was in college, one of my friends would call me E.T. because of the fact that I'd be like thin all the time, and then I would have this little bit in the stomach. And now it's like that is totally shifted. Like my body has sculpted itself, right? So I think part of it is like in terms of motivation. I think that's huge, right? In terms of like seeing the fact that all of your sacrifices and all your hard work actually does, you know, like when you have to buy new clothes and you're like, oh my gosh, like I have not worn this for a while, or I wanted to wear this, right? So like talk about that. I mean, like was there any moment like you had an outfit or you had something that you wanted to do and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm actually way thinner than I used to be?
Yeah, actually, I think I was in denial for like a long time because my mom would be like, you look so good, but you know, she's my mom.
So then you're totally biased.
I was like, oh, okay, you're always gonna say I look good no matter what. And it wasn't until the inches really started to come off that I was like, oh, okay. Because like I was like swimming in my t-shirts now, and I was like, okay, well maybe I'll just, you know, get a size lower, like.
Yes.
And then so, you know, it was like in a small shirt, like a t-shirt, and I was just like, okay, like this is possible, you know. And it was just crazy because I was wearing like XL or 2X, and then now it's like wearing medium to small, and it was like, wow, that's like half. Just looking at the chart alone, that was like, you know, that's half. I just like almost cut down myself.
High five. That is amazing.
But
oh
I'm
my
not
god.
halfway there.
No, but still, but that's just it though, right? I mean, like I think it's just always working on ourselves, right?
Right.
So like those of you know me, like I have like a collection of Spider-Man shirts. And they were all mediums. And then I had to start going down like to a small, right? So like so many of my, like I think I'm really bad about getting rid of stuff. And so I still haven't thrown away like my bags full of clothing.
Yeah.
But I seriously, I probably cut my closet. I think I threw like 75% of my clothes. I mean, I just took them off the hangers. I mean, just because of the fact that they were just so baggy. And even now, a lot of my clothes can go way smaller. And so I think just seeing those results makes a huge. It's funny. Like just the other day, I went to the front office of my school, and one of the guys there was like, "My gosh, you've gotten skinny," you know. And I remember going to the office, and they'll say to me like, "Oh, can I wait? It's Mr. Sun, it's Shay." Like they've gotten used to me looking a certain way, and of course, like when you're in your body, you don't necessarily see how other people see you.
Right.
And then suddenly, like when they start like saying like, "Wow, you look really good," like you look really healthy. Right. It makes such a huge, like such an encouragement when you hear that.
I went pants for the first time. I don't like wearing pants.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. During PetSmart. Yeah. Wait, hold on really quick. So Rosie and I actually met training our pets, our dogs, at PetSmart every Sunday. And that was like years and years ago when our dog, oh my gosh, that was probably like, what, 7, 11?
Probably,
I don't know. It was a long time ago. So yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, so I still don't like wearing pants. Yeah. But I work retail, so I have to.
You wear what?
Retail.
I don't know. What does that mean?
Shopping, like...
Oh, retail. Retail shop. Oh, yeah, I thought you meant like that was a style of clothing. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
I work retail, so I have to wear pants. Right?
Oh, okay.
And I put them on because I would try to get away with it. Like, oh, maybe if they allow long skirts or whatever. And I wore them, and I was finding, like, somewhat comfortable. Yeah. And that was, like, huge because even all my family was, like, just looking at me, like... and I was like, what?
Like you changed.
Right. But they see me every day, and it was even different for them. And they're like, we're just not used to this. Like, you know? And it was just huge because it was like, I think that's when it really hit all of us, like, wow, you've lost a lot of weight. Because you can't really tell when you're wearing, like, you know,
Yes.
dresses and stuff. Like, it's like, when everything's fitting, that's when it's like, oh, okay.
You still have to face your fear when you try on something new, right? So talk about that, because I've noticed that for myself. Like, I'll wear something and be like, oh man, this is like, I haven't done this, like, so tight or whatever. And so there is like a challenge, even though your body is shifted, but like mentally you have to almost like be in congruence with that new self of yours, right?
I don't like shopping because I think I'm still thinking how I used to.
Yeah.
So I think I oversize. So I'll be like, okay, yeah, this fits, and then I get home and it's like too big.
You don't use the dressing room?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, so I always try. I'm like totally trying to do that now.
Well, I might have to.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But because I was so used to like, okay, this size fits me, and I'll buy it, and it did fit me.
Yeah.
That now it's like now I have to change my mentality also.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to grow into your new self, right?
But then I'm like, you know how you hold on to your stuff when
Yes.
you're like big and you're like, but I'm gonna get there. Now I feel like I'm doing the opposite, where I'm like, well, what if I get bigger? You know? So
Yes.
it's like, I don't know, I still don't want to throw it out.
So in coaching we'll call that the saboteur, and the saboteur is the one that's like sneaky rational, and it tells you like, well, maybe you really don't want to do that, because if you do that, then there's something almost, you know, that might, like, it might get. Like it tells you to do something because it makes sense, but but yourself, that's not your true self. That's not your higher self. That's not what you truly want.
Or I'll be like, well, I could just lounge in it, but I'm still not letting it go.
Yes. You know, it's funny. I think the same way. Like, oh, maybe I could just wear that for bed, right, or something like that.
Because now it's oversized, but I'll still be comfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
But
so I have a question in terms of you guys out there that are listening to this. There's still like 13 of you guys out there. Do you have any questions for myself or like Rosie in terms of our experience? Do you have any questions for us? About, or even share one of your experiences in terms of, you know, if weight's been an issue for you, or if, you know, if you've tried intermittent fasting, if you tried fasting, if you try to cut down on sugar, I don't know what other, even wearing clothes that's different, that makes you feel a certain way. Like any of those types of comments, we'd love to be able to read through and, you know, share some of those also. Yeah. Oh, just while we're waiting for those comments, I know the fact that one of my students actually said to me, he's like, I haven't worn a dress ever, and like for the first time I had the courage to actually go and wear a dress to school, right? So I think all of those things make huge difference in terms of like how you feel about yourself. Yeah.
Definitely.
So I think they had like halfway of our faces. We're just getting a little closer.
I know, friendly.
Yes. So anyway, yeah, so let's see if there's any. Let's see, maybe just scroll up. Yeah. I don't know if I see any questions or anything like that. All right. Is there anything else that you can think of that you want to share?
It's always going to be an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Like, just don't think you can just like, okay, well, I hit my goal and now I'm gonna, you know, just go back to everything. It's an ongoing thing. It's literally a lifestyle change, and it's hard sometimes. Like,
well, I love that, because I think what it is, a lot of times people think the fact that like I'm gonna go on a diet, right? So like I'm gonna go on a diet,
like fasting diet. Like,
people
just fast to get to a certain goal, and that's it.
Yeah, I really think that's true. I think when it comes to like, if you're wanting to just get into an outfit, like let's say it's the summer, you're like, oh, I want to get into a bathing suit, or I want to get into trunks, or I want to look good. I think that's short-lived, right? Like it's way more than that. It has to be integrated into like the way, like you said, your lifestyle. Yeah. And then you also just feel different too. I mean, I actually got a little bit sad after I got to looking this way or feeling this way, and I'm like, I'm 44 years old. Like, how many years of my life could I have actually felt good, right? So I'm like, and then I have to tell myself, like, no. I still have many, many years left, and the fact that that I can, you know, look at that part of my life instead of thinking like all the times that I lost.
I wouldn't change it.
No?
Because it definitely shapes who you are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely feel the same. Like, dang, like I could have been looking or feeling better.
Yeah.
You know, for so much longer.
Yeah. So for those of you that are young, no, seriously, like really, really think through. Like, I know the fact that your metabolism is fast. My metabolism was really, really fast before too. Not yours?
No. It's never been fast.
Yeah.
It's always in the gutter.
Well, if that's the case, then you didn't even start younger, right? And like just keep being mindful of that. I think for myself, even though my metabolism was fast, I still could have felt better. So just because you're skinny doesn't mean that you feel healthy. And I think now, because of what I'm eating and things like that, I actually just feel healthier. Not just in terms of like looking better and my clothes feeling better, but I just feel like, I don't don't know. I feel I have more energy, right? Like
Honestly,
authentic energy, not like sugar energy.
Right. Like, at least for me, like, I go to the gym now, you know, and I'm like, dang, like, I should have taken advantage of, like, PE or, yeah.
You guys
like,
hear that? PE is important.
I do think, like, I walked those miles, you know, I didn't take advantage of what was, like, offered to me. And now I'm, like, driving myself to the gym. Like, when I could have just, you know, just had a different mentality. But I didn't think about that then because I didn't think, oh, yeah, this is going to be your life, you know? But yeah, now I'm like, dang, if I could go back and change that, I'd probably be like, no, go run that mile.
Yes.
Now I'm like jogging and, you know, or like trying to get to a half marathon. But get in there.
Oh, I think that's just it, right? I think it's an issue of quality of life. Like, how can you improve the quality of your life so you can get the stuff done that you want to get done and be the kind of person that you want to be, right? So, like yesterday when I was doing the live, I think the last things I said was like be well and do well, right? Like, really feel like you have a sense of well-being in your life, and then also like do well in your life, right? Like, be successful in your life, and of course, like your greatest resource is your health. Like, you can have all the money in the world, and if you don't have your health, you don't have anything, right? Because you can't extend your life, the quality in terms of energy and all those types of things. So I think, like, when you're young, and I know the fact that when you're young, you feel like the fact that you have all the time in the world. When you're young, you feel like the fact that you have all the energy in the world. But, like, take it from those of us that are not in our teens anymore, right? Like, if you can, like, learn from some of us that have, like, you know, gone through that and had to learn not even learn the hard way, but, like, it could just been so much better, right? Like, if you can actually get that into place, this is what I'm telling you is going to happen, right? If you actually really, really look at your health from the standpoint of not like someone else telling you to do it, but like you really own it, then I think what will happen is when you get older, those people who did not listen and did not apply themselves and like try to follow those types of examples, you're going to look around at your friends, and your friends are going to look like older and more lethargic and like you know, just in terms of energy, and you're going to be like, dude, like, why do I feel this way? It's because the fact that you invested in yourself. Like, you transformed yourself in your mindset early on in your life, and then it just set this foundation. Like, I really think that my life would even feel even more different today if I just had a healthier body.
Yeah.
And if I had just had healthier eating habits and even sleep, right? Like sleep, like water, and there's so many things that just affect us, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's something we don't, you know, if it's not like put into you, like it really has to do with, like you said, culture.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's not just driven into you, like it's not going to be something that's really that important to you until later on when it's like, you know, maybe I could have, and it takes that self-realization.
Yeah.
At a later, you know, when it could have been prevented.
Yeah.
Really.
So for those of you who are lacking that self-awareness, really, this is what I would recommend. I would recommend talking to as many people that have gone through some sort of physical transformation. You know, you've seen like those before and after photos, right? And I put some on my Instagram also. But like, talk to those people and just ask them, like, how did you feel before? And then more importantly, how do you feel now? Like, how much more do you feel in terms of self-confidence? How much more do you feel in terms of energy? How much more do you feel in terms of just like all around like well-being? Like, how do you just feel overall? And I would say that probably for those people that are doing that, truly are not on like a crazy crash diet, but those people that are really feeling like the fact that they're actually walking and owning that, man, I think their faces would light up. They'll want to tell you their story.
As far as feeling, I don't think I ever felt like I was at the point where I realized I was. Yeah. Until, like I said, when I went abroad, right? That's when my journey first started.
Really? How long ago was that?
That was 1 year and 3 months. So they had pictures taken of me, and when they sent me those pictures, I think that's when my moment was like, wow, you know? Like, I let it get this bad. And then, like, thinking now back, like, I didn't like my picture taken. Like, this is the first time I'm doing anything like this because, you know, it's just so uncomfortable. Yeah. You don't want to see that reflection of, you know, like your shame.
Yes.
So now, like, I think I'm more, I'm doing this. So.
Well, actually, can we talk about that?
Yeah.
So I love the fact that you just admitted that, because I know the fact that for myself, like, it's even hard for me, like, because, you know, this is only my second or third Instagram. So why when I asked you, like, hey, you didn't shy away from me, you said you were excited about it, like, what gave you the motivation to do this?
Because, well, I think I'm like, a natural introvert, right? But I think a lot of things like leaving the comfort zones, even just the transformation itself, that's leaving the comfort zone. So when you said let's do this, I was like, okay, sure, because it's out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a big thing in this transformation ourselves, like just doing things that we're not used to.
Yeah.
You ever run 6 miles? No, but let's go try.
I love it.
So
yeah.
It's just about getting out of that zone.
So check that out. I think that's a mindset thing, right? So like in one area of your life, you're going to be like, I can do this, right? Like I can go ahead and I can. It was funny because a Blaze pizza notification just came on. That's so funny. But so next time you need to put on Do Not Disturb. But I think that really when it comes to like feeling like there's areas in your life that you can accomplish things, and the fact that if you can accomplish that in one area of your life, then there's other areas of life that you're willing to like step into also. Totally.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else? Any last words or anything like that to the people out there?
No? Not really. I mean, it's really about getting to know yourself. What works for you? Just getting to know your body. That's huge. That's how the only thing you'll like be able to break away from those fads. Like what does work for me and what doesn't. Not just because I get instant results. It doesn't mean it's gonna stay.
Yeah.
So just what does work and stays, and just know your body. If your body's not feeling good, probably not the one for you.
Yeah, like really listen to be in tune with your body.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I would say, really.
So I just want to say, like, I am so proud of Rosie. Like when you just told me the fact that like that you don't even like your picture taking, things like that, and this is the first time, like. So for me, this is what it says to me. Like Rosie cares enough about those of you out there that may, can relate to both of us, and that this is the time for us to be able to share our stories. And so for those of you out there who have gone through some sort of physical transformation, emotional transformation, like in terms of your inner strength, like go out and like go onto Instagram Live. Even just do a little quick, like 3-5 minutes, and just share. Like I said, like Rosie shares, Shay shares, so and so shares. There's so much like negativity in terms of like in media in general, and even at times in social media, right? Like if we get in the habit of even just sharing these moments of triumph, right? These moments of transformation. Could you imagine like you're going through, like let's say when school's out, right? There's or those of you who have like vacation time, and you go on social media, and you suddenly hear like your friends like sharing these moments where they're actually successful, moments where they're stepping out of their comfort zone, moments where they're facing their shame or whatever it is. And like, I just think how much better would our world be if we had more moments like that? I think it'd just be like so much, like so powerful, right? So yeah, I love it. Yeah. So there is something that I do want to share in relation to yesterday. Yesterday, I challenged those of you who heard me talk about the incident at the hairdresser, and what I said was like, you know what? If something happens tomorrow night where you are where you listen to your intuition and act upon it, then go ahead and do that. Well, that happened to me. So yesterday there was an opportunity to an application to public speak, and I don't know how you feel about public speaking.
I don't like it.
You're like,
I do it. I'm a business student.
Okay,
so
look at that.
I gotta do it.
So look at that. So there's another example of like stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something that you're uncomfortable with. So anyway, there's a youth conference in October, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be applying for that, and then again like stepping more into that fear, right?
Yeah.
And then just growing from that there. So one of my friends is going to be speaking there, so that's where I heard about it, and so I thought to myself like, I can't tell you guys to like go and like challenge yourself and things, and then I don't do it myself. So even though I don't know whether or not they're going to accept my application, because it was the application was intimidating, but I'm going to go ahead and lean into it and then see what happens. And the funny thing is, after I actually registered and then I signed up for this Facebook group that I had to get approved for, this morning the guy who's in charge of it invited me to be his friend on Facebook, and then he welcomed me on my wall, and then his name is Tim, and I said to him, I was like, hey, I said my son's name is Timothy, and my middle name is Timothy, and he laughed, and he was like, that's hilarious, because the guy who's in charge of the whole event, his name is Shay. S-H-A-Y. How many Shays are there? Actually, I don't even know if it's a guy or a girl, but regardless, the person's name is Shay. So we had that in common. And so then I just shared with him about shayshares, and that's something I really wanted to be able to do, go on stage and just talk to people. Like, let's all of us step forth, right? Like that TIC that I mentioned yesterday, that TikTok, right? Time, like our life is on a clock, right? So TIC, transform yourself. Like Rosie's transforming herself. I'm transforming myself, right? Transform yourself, inspire others. Through your transformation, other people are going to be motivated. And then after that, change their world. Because your world has been changed, if you influence them, if you inspire them, then they're going to be willing to change their world also. And I think if we have enough people in our lives that care enough about themselves and care enough to be able to like share their stories with other people, I just think we can make this world a better place. And I'm not talking about like all the 7 billion on the planet. I'm talking about your world, like your sphere of influence. The people that watch you on Instagram Live, the people that live in your house, the people that you go to school with, the people that you go to work with. I think they can be inspired by you. And if we can all do that, I just think the fact that would just be amazing. Like it doesn't have to be you write a book, you write a book, you write a book, or you write an article. It could just be like sharing just something small, right? Or something that's fairly quick, and yet it makes a huge impact.
Definitely.
Yep. All right, guys. Again, thank you for this is the third installment of episode 3 of Shay Shares, and I hope that all of you will continue to be well and do well in your lives. All right. Thank you, Rosie, for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. How did I go?